So ladies and gentlemen, just waiting for one or two of the late arrivals. Right, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, we are now going to start the press conference after the third day, the cross-country section of the Rover Burghley horse trials. And once again we're very, very lucky to have here the three top riders, which certainly has a very Antipodean feel about it. And we've had an awful lot of weather today, so we're very grateful for them coming up here today. We also are very lucky to have here today Captain Mark Phillips, who is the course designer, and we'll be making him available to ask some questions at the end of speaking to the riders. So, in first place we have Christopher Burton from Australia, second place we have Tim Price from New Zealand, and in third place we have Andrew Nicholson from New Zealand. And so, Christopher, if you could pass the microphone to Andrew. And I think you'll find it's turned on today, Andrew.
Is it?
Yeah, so there we go. So in third place, ladies and gentlemen, after the cross-country phase of the Land Rover Burghley horse trials, is Andrew Nicholson on Nareo. We've had, as I say, an awful lot of weather today. You and I were walking across after you'd finished your round, and you must be so proud of Nareo. He's such a machine, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for him. Avebury was lovely to ride and was very gentle, and whereas Lareo's a big, strong horse and always found everything a little bit harder than Avebury. And I've liked him all around the world, and whenever he has to, he's come up with the goods for me, and I'm very proud of him.
And was there any time today where Nareo got clearly over the jump despite the rider?
It felt like most of the course he did look at the plan and was reading the numbers for me, because for sure a couple of times I wasn't in the place I wanted to be. Up at the Dairy Mounds was one of them, and he just spotted the corner at the bottom of the slope, took himself to it. So yeah, that's what we feed him and work him for, isn't it? And he knows his job very, very well.
Brilliant. Anybody got any questions for Andrew? No? Oh, Pippa, yeah, no, go for it.
Just going to ask how you felt the ground road the time that you went today, because obviously it was getting quite wet.
How did the going go when you actually went round, Andrew?
The ground felt fine. Maybe they were sinking in a little further than perhaps at the beginning of the day, but it didn't feel that it felt fine to me. And I've got time faults, but it's not because the ground felt too soft. Basically, I probably just didn't go fast enough.
Yes, lady there. Did you manage to have fun out there?
I wouldn't do it if I didn't have fun.
There we are. So, all happy? Could you please pass the microphone to your fellow Kiwi, please, to Tim Price, who is in second place on Ringwood Skyboy. Tim, contrasting day for you today, one way and another. We were talking down at the mix zone, and one of the things somebody said was, how much encouragement did you get when Jonelle went round, with such an amazing round in the time that she did? Was that something you thought, yeah, here we go, second one, we can do it?
It was good to see. I think there was a bit of a, false start to the day, because there was a lot of good riders later in the order that started to show how the course could be ridden, and Jonelle was one of them. So it was just a general feeling that the course was rideable and it was going to go to plan, and it was nice that she made it look ridiculously easy, as she's done a few times now.
But let's talk about you as well. I mean, what was your feeling going around on that's your second ride on Skyboy?
I was actually really excited, especially after my first horse, unknown quantity, young horse, educational kind of round, see what we get at the other end. Skyboy, I know him inside and out. He's been around here, we've had a good time here before, so I was actually looking forward to the round. And he he coped with it very well. He grew a leg where he needed to, and has found better balance. Wasn't affected by the going. Knew how to have a second wind. When we needed it. Like the top coming downhill, he freshened up, and it was a nice round. I enjoyed it.
It was a nice round, and we all enjoyed it as well. Any questions here for Tim? Captain Mark Phillips would like to ask you a question.
How come you always manage to get stopped?
It's a cunning plan on our part, Captain Phillips, but it doesn't
Funny,
work.
I stopped myself at Rio at exactly the same time, 8 minutes.
So, everybody happy? Okay, if you could pass the microphone please to an Australian this time, to Christopher Burton on Nobilis 18. Once again, being down in the collecting ring and seeing you come back with the biggest smile on your face as you came around that corner, going in the lead, going first time, there must be a lot of pressure on you going out there. How did it feel when you set off from that start box?
Yeah, I was very nervous today. I sat in the riders' tent and watched a heap of riders go and horses go, and that didn't help me at all. Then I went back to the track and I said to my wife, I said, why don't we just curl up in bed and have the afternoon off, or forget this whole thing. So I was quite nervous, but yeah, I'm delighted. He went really well. He gave me a good feel.
Any questions for Christopher? Yeah, Pippa again?
It looked like you had a really forward ride all the way around, and you didn't have a worrying moment from where you were sitting. Is that how it felt?
It seemed a very seamless, smooth ride for you.
Yeah, it doesn't ever seem like that on top, I can tell you, but that's what we're always aiming to do. I guess I was just lucky today that distances were coming to me, and he's a good, easy horse to ride forward to a fence. So it was nice that he came in so well.
Any more questions? Yes. Did it go to plan? Did you ride everything you thought you were going to ride?
I had one of the rare moments where I changed my mind from doing an option. I planned on doing the long route at the trout hatchery at D because I saw so many do 4.5. But I was so far down on my first and second minute, I thought, oh, I won't go through it and see what he does. So that's quite unusual for me to change and go the other way, but he was great.
All right. Well, if you could pass the microphone, please, over to the course designer of the Land Rover Burghley Horse Trials, is Captain Mark Phillips. Captain Phillips, given the nature of this phase of the sport that we all follow and enjoy, you see some riders making it look easy, and you hear Christopher talking about, they felt, and some making it maybe not so. Could you just give your perception of, or the perspective of how they all went today? I think we may just have to turn the switch on. Is it up?
Yeah. It was harder work for the riders than I thought it was going to be. I think all the combinations required a forward ride on the way in, which is why you got these three sitting here, because they did that better than anybody else. For me, the disappointing thing was the number of falls we had today. You look at the trout hatchery, and you look at 10 horses landing there normal, and then we had 3 in a row fell over, and the bottom was fine. We picked up one shoe out of there earlier in the day, because obviously we checked every time to make sure that the horses weren't treading on the shoe. And it was just one of those things. It was a big log in, it was 180 drop, and actually in a number of the instances, the riders actually weren't there for the horse when they landed. And that happened a lot today. We saw riders land and fall forward. Well, today in particular, they paid a price. And I thought Discovery Valley was a gimme. When they jumped that, got a little bit launched and landed and tipped forward, it wasn't there, and they had to go the long way. So, yeah, it was harder work than I thought. The rain didn't help. But you saw every fence ridden rather, really well. I mean, a lot of people made every fence look actually fantastic. But the overall picture was one that I'd like to have seen. I'd like to see a better picture overall. And I think it's because people had to work really hard.
Okay, thank you for that insight. Then we'd like to ask Captain Phillips any follow-up question? Yes.
No, there's been some worse days. I mean, we had 68 start and 28 jump clear run. In my ideal day, we had get 50% clear. Well, we're just under the 50%. I needed another 4 or 5 clears. But there was a lot of unlucky people today. Like Sam Griffiths broke a stirrup leather. We saw Pippa Funnel have that fall in the trot hatchery. She was going really well, and the horse to me just tripped. Or maybe it trod on over each boot, or it's just one of those things that happened. And I think what we got today, maybe it was the weather. Maybe it's a funny old job, this cross country, because last year people thought, well, I could be 10 seconds down at the Centaur's Leap, Cotswold Leap, and then make it back. This year everybody realised that it was difficult to get back if you were late up there, so maybe more people used more of their horse in those first 3 minutes and then paid the penalty later on. Riders definitely haven't learned how to ride Burghley. Well, some have, but there are a lot that haven't learned how to ride Burghley this way round yet. So there's a lot of learning going on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Captain Phillips. Ladies and gentlemen, yes.
When you built Discovery Valley, did you expect the horses to jump it so big? Because my teammates told me that's what they were doing, and I thought my horse would sneak over it, but they all believed it.
I really didn't see that coming, and for me it was a 6 strides to the big, but you had to get there early. If you didn't get there early, in other words, the last stride being a little bit shorter, and you only got halfway up the bank, then they got launched. And some people, Mark Todd got a bit launched, but he stayed there and he went, and the horse took it. So but a lot of people didn't commit to that and had to go the long way. And in many ways, the fence I thought was a guinea was the most influential fence, certainly time-wise, because a lot of people had to go long. It might just be there again next year.
There we are. Okay, thank you, Christopher, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so many people to thank today, but particularly I would like to thank Captain Mark Phillips for coming along. Particularly I'd like to thank, from a press point of view, at the Land Rover Burghley Horse Trials, these top 3 riders. You've been amazingly patient all the way through the day, standing out in the wet and rain to help these guys. Thank you so much for that. So we've got the show jumping tomorrow, everything to play for, to use another cliche. So therefore, in 3rd place from New Zealand, Andrew Nicholson on Areo. 2nd place, Tim Price from New Zealand on Ringwood Skyboy. But ladies and gentlemen, in 1st place after the cross-country section of the Land Rover Burghley Horse Trials, Christopher Burton from Australia on Nobilis 18. Thank you very much, everyone.